Okay. Now for the your, let's get away from the sound system here. Okay. The your sites should be. I'm going to put it on my list. Okay. Who is it for?
Sarah Maybound.
Yes. Okay. Sarah Maybound, and that's your mother, right? Mother. Steve Maybound. Got it. I don't know what happened.
The other is Mark.
You have another one there too? Oh.
M-A-R-K.
Mark, M-A-R-K.
C-R-U-M-B.
C-R-U-M-B. And it's pronounced? Crumb, like crumb. Okay. And he is a friend, a relative? Cousin of yours?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, got it?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
Great. Good seeing you.
Wonderful to see you. Thank you. Close. Yai lai 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 yan la 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 la. Yai la 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 yan la 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 la. Yai la 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 yan la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Well, I'm sure I surprised you already. Those of you who knew I was leading the service tonight figured you had another 5 or 10 minutes to go. After all, 7-ish. However, it's not for you guys. It's for you guys that I'm starting on time, because the people who are doing it from a distance, they expect us to start at 7. So, Shabbat Shalom to everybody. And I got around to, I think, almost everybody who was here before 7. So if I missed you, I want to see you afterwards, because I don't want to miss anybody tonight, that's for sure. Okay, we are going to greet the Sabbath bride with the blessing over candles, and you'll find this on pages 3 and 2, and Hedda Schnur is going to have the honor tonight. So please stand.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who would hold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you, and good Shabbos. So let's all turn to page 10, and in the middle of the page you'll find Yedid Nefesh. Please be seated. Yedid Nefesh Avarachman, Yedid Nefesh Avarachman, Nishochahavtecha El Ritzanecha, Nishochahavtecha, Ya la 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 la, El Ritzanecha, Ya Ritzanecha, Kemayal, Yishtachav Elai, Ya la 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 la, El Mulhadarecha, Ya Ritzanecha, Kemayal, Yishtachav Elai, Ya la 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 la, El Mulhadarecha. I love seeing all of you, but I love hearing Catherine Klein. I can't tell you, although I have told you many a time, but it bears repeating, what confidence it gives to anybody who's up here trying to sing, to know that Catherine is there just holding us up. So thank you, Catherine. All right. We are going to turn to page 6. I've been thinking a lot, as I think you have, about the synagogue, and especially about our congregation. And what does it mean? What is it for us to have a congregation, to be part of the synagogue? Let's read page 6 responsively, because this really tells us what we're all about. May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. Page 24. Tonight, by the way, you'll probably notice the selection of music. I met with Jenna. We planned the service. We always do. By the way, you notice the regular folks who are usually up here aren't up here tonight. I'm the substitute. So Rabbi Young is actually doing something very interesting. Rabbi Young and Cantor Young, for the first time in their careers together, are doing a joint scholar-in-residence / artist-in-residence, and they're at the Reform Synagogue in Tulsa, Oklahoma this Shabbat. I hope next Shabbat, by the way, we'll all come back, particularly on Shabbat morning, when not everybody here is used to coming, because we're celebrating their daughter Bella's bat mitzvah, and it'll be nice to have the support of the congregation for that. And Jenna also has a wonderful simcha this weekend. Her cousin is getting married, and so there are a lot of festivities over the whole weekend for the wedding. So they asked if I would fill in. I'm happy to do so. So a lot of the music is going to be familiar music, which is nice because I'm counting on everybody to join in and sing. So page 24, we're going to sing Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Malachei Amalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Boachem l'shalom Malachei Ashalom Malachei Elyon Mihi Melech Malachei Amalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Baruch Hu Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Amalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedkem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Amalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we mark the end of Kabbalat Shabbat, these prayers and songs in which we greet the Sabbath, and we are going to transition into the Ma'ariv service itself, the Friday evening service. We do so with the Chatzi Kaddish, page 26. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Amadi baraki rutei v'yamlik malchutei, b'chayechan v'yamechan, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'hagala, uv'izman kahariv v'imeru, amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach, La'alam alal me'amaya Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitbar v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, Shemei dekudesha, Brichu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata, v'nechemata, Da'amiran belma, v'imeru, Amen. We have the Baruch Hu on page 28. Please stand. Page 29. Oh God, you are as near us as the very air we breathe, and yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you're near, we're lonely and alone. Let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and the joy of your presence. The second blessing of the Shmas and section is on page 32. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, amcha ahavta. Torah, mitzvot, chukim, u'mishpatim, otanu limadata. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shachbenu, v'kumenu, nasiach b'chukecha. V'nismach b'divrei Toratcha, u'b'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech ve'orech yameinu. Uvahem neged yomam v'layla ki hem chayenu ve'orech ve'orech yameinu. Uvahem neged yomam v'layla ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch ata Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. Let's read an interpretive version of the Vahavta together on page 37. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you're tired or you're rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. Michamocha, page 40, the Song of Freedom. Ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'edar b'kodesh. On page 41. We've been singing the song. So yes, let's sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect. Oh my God. Don't we need this so much in our world today? People trying to understand each other and showing respect to one another? The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. For soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. And there's no line that speaks to us more of that world of peace than the second line of Hashkivenu on page 42, Ufros Aleinu, Sukkot Shlomecha. God, spread over us a sukkah of peace. Uferos Aleinu, Sukkot, Shalom Echa, Uferos Aleinu, Sukkot, Sukkot, Shalom Echa. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Uferos Aleinu, Sukkot, Sukkot, Shalom Echa. Well, that was mellow. So you know what has to happen next. The middle of 44. Shamrei, 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 Shabbat. Shabbat Yismechu B'malachutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat Korei Oneg Shabbat Mekadeshei Shvi Shabbat K'lam Yispe'u Eitandu Mituvecha Shabbat Yismechu B'malachutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat Korei Oneg Shabbat Yismechu B'malachutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat Korei Oneg Shabbat Ratzita bo Kirashto Shabbat Chemdat Yamim Oto Krata Shabbat Yismechu B'malachutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat Korei Oneg Shabbat Yismechu B'malachutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat Korei Oneg Shabbat Zecher L'maaseh Bereishit Shabbat Zecher L'maaseh Bereishit Shabbat Yismechu B'malachutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat Korei Oneg Shabbat Yismechu B'malachutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat B'korei Oneg Okay. So we're ready for the beginning of the Tefillah, and we'll first have the meditation Adonai Svatai, and then go into the first three blessings together. So we're starting on 46, and just keep looking on the right-hand side. Please stand. Adonai Svatai Tiftach Ufi Agitilatecha Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Elohei Bilcha Ve'Elohei Zilpah El Agadol Agibor V'Hanara El Elyon Kamel Chasadim Tovim Ve'Konei HaKol Ve'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Libnei V'Nehem L'man Shemo V'Ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Abraham Ve'Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaya Kol Atah Rav L'Hoshia Mashiva Ruach U'Morid Agashem Mechakel Chayim Bechesed Mechaya Kal Verachamim Rabim Samech Noflim Verofei Kolim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunatah Lishenei Ahafa Michamocha Bal Gevorot Umido Melach Melech Mehmit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'emanata l'chayot hakol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh hakol Ta kadosh, v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom, Yahalalucha Selah, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. Page 55. Let's read responsively. Disturb us, Adonai. Ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with a piece of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch Atah Adonai, She'otcha Levatcha B'yirah Na'avod. Modim anachnu lach Shatahu Adonai, Shatahu Adonai Eloheinu, Ve'Elahei Avoteinu, Le'olam Le'olam Va'ed. Ay, 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 modim, anachnu lach Shatahu Adonai, Shatahu Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Imoteinu, Le'olam Le'olam Va'ed. Ay, 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 Tzur Chayenu, ay, 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 Magen Yishenu, Ayatahu ledor bador, no delacha unathapa tehilatecha. Ay, 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 tzur chayenu. Ay, 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 magen yishenu. Ayatahu ledor bador, no delacha unathapa tehilatecha. The middle of page 61. Lo yisa goy el goy cherev, velo yilmedu od milchama. Nation shall not take up sword against nation, they shall never again know war. But don't stop after beating the swords into plowshares. Don't stop. Go on beating and make musical instruments out of them. Whoever wants to make war again will have to turn them into plowshares first. Before we go into our own moment of silent prayer, I have a prayer to offer. It's a prayer for democracy. I'm sure that you are as disturbed as I, as you read the stories these days emanating from Israel. As our dear friend Kayla Shipp, many of you know Kayla if you've gone on congregational trips with us over the years. She's been our tour educator. She made Aliyah 25 years ago, and she wrote on Facebook last week, "This was not the Zionist dream I had when I made Aliyah. And every day and every week, not thousands, not tens of thousands, but hundreds of thousands are marching in the streets in Israel about the feared loss of democracy. It seems to be a worldwide phenomenon. Many here are worried at what we see going on in our own country and the concern how strong is the democracy here that we always believed in. And we see other countries throughout the world. It's a frightening time. This is a prayer that was written for this week by Rabbi Oded Mazor. Rabbi Mazor leads the Reform congregation in Jerusalem, a congregation some of us have attended over the years. And the words that he speaks here certainly touched my heart. I think that they will touch yours as well. God of our ancestors, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob, Rachel, Leah, Bilhah, and Zilpah. Bless those who stand in defense of democracy, equality, and peace. From among our people and those all over the world who work to repair society in the face of the threat to the justice system and the rule of law. May the Holy One protect them and save them from all trouble and distress, from every plague and illness, from all harassment and injury and any attempt to humiliate them and undermine their commitment in the fight against indifference, inaction, and non-involvement. May their efforts be successful, and may they have a good eye to see wrongs done, a good heart so as not to stand idly by, and the strength to act to protect the rights of all, to do justice and bring peace to every person made in the image of God in the world. May the words of the Torah be fulfilled. For because of this thing, God will bless you in all your efforts and in all your undertakings. And let us say, Amen. Let's take a moment for our own prayers. Shalom b'imrama, Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Well, we come now to the Torah service, and we're going to kind of streamline it. We're going to take the Torah out. I'm going to have my trusty aide, Mike, actually carry the Torah around, and we're going to start singing L'cha Adonai and take it on from there. So you'll find some of the words on 249, and let's roll with it. Please be seated. All right, I came in and rolled this during the week. Let's get the right spot here. That's right before stop. Okay, we're good. So unlike when Rabbi Young is here, this is not the Devar Torah. This is just like a little warm-up. The inclination to mess up, what our sages of blessed memory called Yetzer Hara, the inclination to do the wrong thing. That's been with humanity from the very beginning. That first couple couldn't even follow the single commandment that they were given. Now, if you think that you have mastered this inclination to mess up, you're only fooling yourself. It really is a constant battle. I'm saying you. I mean me. I mean us. all of us. Now, I know that most of us aren't thieves, really, but, you know, it's tax season. That temptation to cut corners is honestly pretty powerful. Well, what does the Torah have to say about this? This week's Torah portion, Vayikra, opens the book of Leviticus. And the very end of the parasha talks about repayment of something that you have wrongly taken. And it says you are to restore the principal and add a penalty of 1/5. So you would think that means if you stole $100, you'd have to repay 120, right? You add a fifth. Yet, our rabbis read it differently. I want everyone to take a hold of the plowed commentary for a moment, the larger blue book. We're going to get an eye-opener right now. Page 779. Okay, I'm almost there. Okay, 779 at the top of the page. There's a number that says 16, and then it says a fifth part, right? Didn't it say you have to add a fifth part? Here we go. According to the halakha, Jewish law, the indemnity is to be 1/5, not of the principal sum, but of the total amount to be repaid. Put the other way, the principal sum is to be 4/5. You're loving this, a math teacher, right? 4/5 of the total repaid. So, if the property misappropriated is worth 100 shekels, the indemnity would therefore be 25 shekels. You have to pay not 120, 125, and that's how they get the fifth part. Do you know I've been reading this passage for umpteen years at least, maybe more than umpteen? I never saw this halakhic interpretation. Robin and I are doing Daf Yomi. We're studying the Talmud, start to finish. It's a 7.5-year project. I've studied parts of the Talmud, but never went through the whole thing. We haven't gotten to this yet, but we will. It is amazing what the rabbis do. And if you think, well, we don't follow what the rabbis say, we just do what's in the Torah. Oh, really? You're probably going to be going to a Seder soon. Does it actually say in the Torah that you're supposed to have a Seder? Judaism is from the rabbis. My professor, Jacob J. Pedachowski, of blessed memory, wrote a wonderful book years ago called Heirs of the Pharisees. The Pharisees were what became the rabbis. And all Jews are heirs to that tradition. We don't just read the Bible. It's read through the eyes of tradition. Okay. We're now going to read what it actually says in the Torah. The reading is taken from Leviticus chapter 5. We're going to start at verse 23. We're plowed on page 778 now for the readings, right the page before. Pasuk Kaf Gimel, that is verse 23. Na la'amod Yochanan Atzil Shmuel ben Avraham Basara, and that would be John Tice. Let's get to the spot again. Where And it's right there.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Leolam Ba'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Bahaya ki yechta v'asham v'heshiv et hagazela asher gazal o et ha'oshek asher asak o et hapikadon asher hufkadito o et ha'aveda asher matzah o mikol asher yishava alav l'shaker. And so if a person does wrong and he realizes his guilt, then he must return that which he stole, or that which he got by fraud, or the deposit that had been left with him and he didn't return the whole thing, or something that was lost and he found and didn't give back, or anything about which he swore falsely. V'shalem et oto berosho v'chamishitav Yosef alav. And so he should pay back the principal, adding a fifth to it. And we know how the rabbis ended up figuring that one out. La'asher hu lo yitnana b'yom Hashem tov. He shall give this back to the person he hurt on the day that he realizes his guilt. Ve'et ashamo yavi ladonai. And he shall also bring, remember this is in biblical times, in addition to repaying the person, you've also done a wrong against God, so got to do something to right that, and the method was making an offering. So he has to bring his guilt offering for God, and what is it? Ayil tamim minatzon, a ram without blemish from the flock, or the equivalent, le'asham el hakohen. He shall bring this as the guilt offering to the kohen. V'chiper alav hakohen lifnei Adonai. And the kohen shall make expiation for him before God. V'nithlach lo alachat mikol asher yaseh la'ashma ba. And in this way he shall gain forgiveness for any of this type of wrong that he has done.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'chaye Olam Nata Betochenu. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Okay, we're going to make a blessing for John. Turn in your Siddur to page 251. Let me get to the page also. 200. Getting close. I'm close. It's not 251, but it is. The Mishaberach is going to be, here it is. It is on page 252. Okay. Mi Shebarach Avotenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Bilcha v'Zilpah Hu Yivarech et Yochanan Atzil Shmuel ben Avraham v'Sarah Ba'avur she'ala lichvod ha'makom v'lichvod ha'Torah v'lichvod ha'Shabbat v'schar zeh HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishmereha v'yatzileha mikol tzara v'tzukah mikol nega u'machala v'yishlach b'racha v'atzlacha b'chol ma'aseh yadav in Kol Yisrael v'nomar Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, and Bilhah, and Zilpah, bless John Tice, who has come up to the Torah in honor of God, honor of Torah, and in honor of Shabbat. And may he merit from the Holy One of blessing, protection, rescue from any trouble or distress, and from any illness, minor or serious. May God send blessing and success to his every worthy endeavor, and his endeavors are worthy, I know, together with all Israel, and we say, Amen.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Shalom.
Thank you. And now we offer a prayer for those who are ill. And I'm going to mention the names of those for whom our congregation is praying, and then ask if you have any other people to add. And so as we offer our Mishaberach on this Shabbat, we ask for blessing and for healing for Mike Capsuto, J.D., Richard and Janet Eckelman, Alcena Hogue, Jeffrey and Cindy Colson, Judy Lerner, Salmeo, Annis Marcus, Shai Zeldin, Run and Marge Osborne, Steve Ostrin, Lena Parker, Carol Rosen, Al Schiffberg-Mencher, Christine Wolford, Bona Leba Bat Ruth, Chana Sarah Shraga, Esther Malka Chana Bat Yerut, Harav Avraham ben Shmuel Vehudit, Matan Yosef ben Dror Yitzchak David Yaakov. And do we have any other people for whom you're offering a prayer? Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel Leah Yevarich v'Yirapeh et HaCholim Mishaberach Avatenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel Leah Yevarech v'Yirapeh et HaCholim Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Yevarech, v'Yirapeh et HaCholim. Okay. Mike is going to lift the Torah, and Bailey is going to dress. Please stand. Please be seated. Okay, good. So we're going to be a little bit interactive tonight. Do you remember a quiz show from back in the 50s called Name That Tune? Some of you do. For those who don't, I'll show you how it works, okay? I'm going to give you the tune, and if you think you know what it is, raise your hand. Let's see how you do. Bum, 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 bum. Beethoven is the guy who wrote that. Which number? Anybody know? Fifth. He liked to drink. It was Beethoven's fifth. Okay. Thank you. You know, now they don't call it a fifth anymore. They use a metric system, so what can you do? Okay, we're going to do a variation on that game, though. This time, I'm going to tell you what the tune is. And the question isn't going to be name that tune. The question is going to be when. When do we sing this melody? The tune is very familiar to you. I mean, the words are familiar to you because we sing it all the time. The words are Mi Chamocha. Okay? So I'm going to start. Here's the first one. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Okay? So if we're singing that, what time of the year is it? High Holy Days. Very good. Okay, we'll try the next one. Here we go. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. When is it? You think that's Pesach? You have the right answer at the wrong time, though. Okay, just hold that one. Okay. Yeah, second try, you got it right. Yeah, like Rock of Ages, let our son. Okay. She's on a hot streak, so I'm going to let her answer the next one. Here we go. Ready? Okay. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai. Okay, what holiday is that? Go back to Pesach. God of right, God of might. So the point of this is we know where we are in the calendar just by listening. We listen to the sounds. We listen to the melodies. It's called nusach. That's what we call that. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a harder question. I'm going to ask you, to which holiday does this song go? I'm going to sing a little of the song, and let's see if you know which holiday we're talking about. Utzu etz havitu far, utzu etz havitu far, utzu etz havitu far, dabru davar velo yakum ki Immanuel. Well, of course, we have a musician here. Okay. Shana, what do you have to say?
Purim.
It's Purim. Okay. If you didn't know it's Purim, I would tell you what the words mean, and that would give you probably a hint. The words of Utzu Etza mean, make your plans, they will be annulled, scheme against us, it will be to no avail, for God is with us. This also shows you how poor your memories are as you get old. Because every Shabbat Zachor, the Shabbat before Purim, until and through the year 2012, every Shabbat Zachor, we sang on that Friday night before Purim, Utzu etza v'tu far, Utzu etza. Maybe it's coming back to you, you know, it's been a long time, but okay. So, what? It is. Why? Yeah, the melody, you're right, because it goes on. I agree with you. Okay, so, you know, the Purim story. We just did the Purim story, right? Well, we had a lot of fun. I wanted to be here, by the way. You missed me. I would have dressed. I had my king costume ready to go, and it's Purim evening, 5 o'clock. I'm not feeling right. Took my temperature 102.4. Well, I wasn't going to come. Of course, I immediately tested COVID. Thank God, negative. And the next morning, fine. One of those things, it can just happen. So that's why I wasn't here. I do like to come and support the Spielers. Now, that Megillat Esther, that scroll of Esther, you know that most scholars would say that it is historical fiction. That story probably never happened exactly that way. But it happened. And it has happened. And it continues to happen. It's a true story. Oh, the guy's name doesn't have to be Haman. There are a lot of other names of people who have tried to destroy us. Do you know, I taught Introduction to Judaism for 41 years. And we had 2 lessons, because it was that important. The Purim lesson and the Yom HaShoah lesson, when I had to make the point that being Jewish is dangerous. Now, I will tell you, for most of those years that I was teaching the class, I was thinking more about history, you know, pogroms and the Holocaust and all of that. Unfortunately, you know what? It didn't end with World War II, as we are seeing. So that message of Purim, we're still around. We're still here. And now we're in this period between Purim and Pesach. And Pesach, Passover, is a time of freedom, of redemption. Now, at the Seder, we go, in the words of the Haggadah, Me'avdut lecherut. We start out talking about our enslavement, and then we talk about our freedom, right? Because that's the way it goes. So we're still kind of in this period when Haman tried to destroy us, and we're still enslaved to the Pharaoh, but we know in a couple of weeks we're going to come out of it. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. I want to ask you one more question. We want, have a little exchange. I'm going to ask you, we're going to vote right now. And I don't know how the vote's going to be. A lot of it depends on who's here on any given night. Here's the question. What is your favorite holiday? I'm going to give you a choice, okay? So you can only vote once, okay? Only once. I want you to choose between the following. Your favorite, personal, it doesn't matter what the person next to you thinks, okay? You have your own favorite, okay? Here are your choices. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Simchat Torah, Hanukkah, Purim, Pesach, Shavuot. I am not going to give you as a choice Tisha B'Av, because that is nobody's favorite. That's when we mourn the destruction of the temple. So no one's going to vote for that. Why even put it up? Okay, I'm looking at hands. I'm not going to make you say anything like, why do you love it? But let's just see how it goes. How many people say, you know what, of all the holidays, Rosh Hashanah is your favorite? Raise it. Okay, good. I see a couple of hands. Thanks. Hands down. How about Yom Kippur? That one, not, oh yeah, there's a hand. You know what? I actually do like it. It's a hard day. I mean, it's harder for me probably than for you, because you can just sit there, you know? I'm up there and I'm coming back. You know that, right? Yeah, you heard that? I'm coming back. Okay. Not permanently. I am loving retirement. Don't get the wrong idea. But I will be here for the High Holy Days with Jenna. That should be fabulous. Okay. Next choice. Sukkot. Okay, thank you. We have one. Especially if you build your own sukkah, it becomes an important holiday that means a lot. Okay, Simchat Torah. Yeah, we got a few for that. It's a joyous holiday. Okay, Hanukkah. Okay, I see a few hands. Now, you do realize, hands down, that if this were a family service and we had a lot of kids here, that would win. We know that. Okay, next, we get to Purim. Yeah, some people like Purim. Okay, Pesach. Okay, interesting. It's only a smattering. In general, that one is quite popular. Okay, and then Shavuot. Okay, thank you. We have a couple of people for Shabbat. It was pretty close, actually. I liked seeing that. Okay, that was nice. What is? I would say probably it's Pesach, because you know what I love about Pesach? Not only for me, but really for everybody. All the other holidays, it takes place up there. Somebody else is running it. The rabbi, the cantor, the singers, the whatever, the musician, okay? But Pesach, we all own it. It's ours. We do it our way. And we have our customs that we either have gotten from our families, from our friends, or we read about things, we try new things, we create our own Haggadah. It's very personal. So, and for us, that's the time when our family tends to gather, and our family's pretty spread out, so it's nice when most of them can get together. Okay, I want to end just on one note, and that is, even though Pesach celebrates our freedom and our redemption, we're Jewish. We always see all signs of it. And so here's a passage from the Haggadah. And it reads as follows. V'hi sha'amdala avotenu v'lanu. And God stood by our fathers and our mothers with this promise. Shelo echad bilvad amad aleinu l'chalotenu. It isn't just one who stood up to destroy us. Ella, shebechol dor vador, in every single generation, omdim aleinu l'chalotenu. There are those out there who want to destroy us. Ve'akadosh baruch hu matzilenu mi'adam. But the promise is, God stands with us against the destroyers. We read the newspapers. It was in the paper today. The latest report from the ADL, there's more anti-Semitism now than we've had for years, okay? It's there. It's real. How do we respond? And I will tell you how we respond. My opinion. Don't be afraid. Stand tall. Be proud. Be your best Jewish selves, because these are the three words that should ring in your ears from tonight and forward. Am Yisrael Chai. The Jewish people lives. The Jewish people will live. So let's carry it out there and carry on. Shabbat Shalom. We are ready to move to the final portion of our service, and it begins with Aleinu on page 282 and 287. Please stand. Aleinu shameach ladon hakol lateit gedula liotzer breshim shelo asanu kegoyei haratzak velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'gar aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz vayom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Please be seated. Page 289. The light of life, it's a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it's radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, and in light we are seen. The flames dance, and our life burns down in gutters. There's an end to the flames. We see no more, and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory, slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. As we recite Kaddish tonight, we especially call to mind the following, whose yortzites we are observing: Edward David Alpert, Carl N. Burns, father of Joyce Fruchter, Esther Lila Bissell, mother of Sue Galerter, Diane Shadow Feldman, cousin of Sherry Neft, Mary Citrons, mother of Rainey Schulman, Peter Simon Creamer, son of Evelyn Creamer, Mitchell Dolgan, father of Ben Dolgan, Louis Gelfand, uncle of Sandy Gelfand, Gloria Green, Robert Kaplan, father of Howard Kaplan, Judith Liebman, mother of Sheldon Liebman, Ray Magid, mother of Ennis Marcus, Jerome Mendelson, father of Gail Wickenberg, Helen Meskin, mother of Shaheen Firzbach, Celia Newman, mother of Cindy Hirsch, M.S. Bud Newman, husband of Shana Newman, Lucille Osborne, mother of Elaine Weissman and of Rochelle Kaplan, Rose Frost Premack, remembered by Helene Weinstock, Moses Rabinovich, grandfather of Rena Walsinger, David Romanek, uncle of Susie Katz, Mai Rotkin, father of Tammy Klein, Joanne Ross, wife of Ron Ross, Ida Rocher, mother of Marcy Rocher Shlomowitz and wife of Joe Rocher, Norman Schaffler, father of Wendy Sack, Gertie Schwartz, aunt of Annalisa Flanagan Frankel, Jerry Schwartz, father of Arlene Dempsey, Harriet Spandorf, Danny Weiss, husband of Rosalia Weiss, Sarah Maybaum, mother of Steve Maybaum, and Mark Crum, cousin of Steve Maybaum. And do we have any other people we're remembering tonight? Kaddish Yatom is found on page 294. If it is your custom, please stand. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divarach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almayat. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha barichu. Leila min kol birchata b'shirata tushbachata v'nachamata tamiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved. Please be seated. And we have a few words from Mike Tucker.
Shabbat Shalom. And a few of you may know that I was on the Bema last week, but by popular demand, they asked me to come back and do it again. Just a few thank you. Thank you, John. Just a few thank yous. Catherine Klein for the beautiful music. Our Rabbi Emeritus for playing the part of Jenna and Rabbi Young this evening. Our usher, Faith Hirschler. And somebody who haven't thanked before, but it is Stacy, who takes care of our own egg on Friday nights. So thank you, Stacy. A few things that are coming up. The Judaica shop is open for Passover on Sunday, March the 26th. The Passover second night Seder, and there are flyers on the table in the lobby, that is going to be held at Temple Beth David. If you want to respond, you can do that by responding to Temple Beth David, and there's a phone number there. And then there's also the CBT Family Campout that's going to take place in April, the 21st through the 23rd, and also the Interfaith Book Club on Tuesday, March the 28th at 6:30 at the Lutheran Church of Resurrection. And it ought to be a very interesting evening for discussion. So, Shabbat Shalom.
Our closing song is on page 338. I'll give you a second to get there. 338. There it is. Let's see. Let's see if that's correct. Eilacham Delibi. And, yes, it's right at the bottom of the page. Okay, here we go. Eilacham Delibi. Kusana ve'al natitale. Eilacham Hamda libi Kusana ve'al natitale. Elech 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 hamda libi Kusana ve'al natitale. Shabbat Shalom. And now, Kiddush and Motzi. A little bit. Okay, you know it anyway. Now, y'all know what to do, right? You know when to do it? We'll find out. Sabri Chaverai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Barei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadsho, v'ahava u'vratzam, hinkalanu, zikaron l'maseh v'reishit, kihu yom techilah, l'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziyat mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, v'tanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kadshecha, v'ahava u'v'ratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. B'te'avon. And we have an oneg, right? There is an oneg, so let's see you in there.
was up last week? I pushed the button.